Caroline, it's the scourge of modern life, all these sort of scams and things turning up on your digital devices. ASIC today, the corporate regulator, though, has slammed the big four banks and said they don't do enough to look after customers. They detected, this is the big four banks, detected and stopped only 13% of payments made to scammers, and only 11% of us received any compensation after the event from the banks. Now, I know bank shareholders will say and customers will say, you know, why does the bank have to pay out here and defend people who should be looking more carefully at some of these scams? But they're getting more and more sophisticated, and surely we can expect the banks to do more to stop them in the first place.
Well, it's a question of how much they can do. And you're right, they're getting so much more sophisticated. I mean, gone are the days that a bank robbery is this big Hollywood plot, you know, a bloke in a balaclava demanding people throw themselves down on the ground. These are very organised, often foreign criminals sitting behind the safety of a computer screen and coming up with these elaborate scams that are now not only netting, you know, the grandmas and grandpas, which we've heard all these heartbreaking stories about losing their life savings, but also people who are otherwise very savvy about these sorts of things are getting caught up in this, Peter, because these scams look so realistic. Often they have very personal details that where people have been hacked, and they learn personal details about transactions that they were going to make. So they seem very realistic. But on the other hand, I do understand, you know, that conundrum that banks will have, because to what extent does personal responsibility have to come in? We have to educate ourselves and not be naive or gullible to what's happening out there at the moment, and just double and triple check everything that we do. Even in the cases where people are being compensated, that tiny proportion that you referred to, I mean, they're only getting between 2 and 5% of their money back. So even in the cases where they are receiving something back from their banks, it's very little. I mean, obviously banks have to provide as much safeguard.
They are so legitimate. They are so legitimate. Exactly. I think the only way around this is government has to get to a position where everyone in Australia gets a government email address, and it's protected with all the cyber security that only government can provide. And you get your bank and everything else important, ATO, whatever, through that one email address. And if it doesn't come to that email address that is government trusted, you don't trust it at the other end at home. You don't transfer money to some text message or something on a dodgy Gmail account.